Welcome back to Kiwi Steve's Global Kitchen. And today I've got an easy recipe for you. It's very tasty, it's very quick to make, and I know you're thoroughly going to enjoy it because I will indeed. It's beautiful, very tasty indeed. It is spinach and broccoli with a few other little greens, and it's a spicy fritters. And I've also got my next story, part 3 of Terror in the Skies, my flight journeys. And this is a real doozy, this one, so stick around for that. But we're going to first get the cooking underway. And so what are we going to do first? Right, first we need 1 cup of pea flour. So I've already prepared a lot of this stuff, so because of time. So we're going to put the 1 cup of pea flour in. Along with that, we have basically about, this is probably to make enough for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 people. We're going to put in a cup of wholemeal flour. So I'm going to pour that in now. There we go. 1 cup of wholemeal flour. Let's put that in, and we need to give that a little bit of a, just mix it in a little bit. There we go. I'm getting more on the floor and on my feet, but never mind, I can always sweep it up later. Could be a work and safety hazard. I could slip over and break my leg. So we've done that, and then we're going to put in about half a teaspoon, maybe 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So let's just put that in. I've done that. Then next we have about a teaspoon of turmeric. So in that goes a teaspoon of ground cumin seed, or cumin seed, whatever you like to call it. In that goes, and then we have 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. So we'll put that in, and I will now give that a little bit of a mix. So what else do we need? Well, we need some ginger and garlic. So I've already bought this one. It's a mixture of ginger and garlic. So normally I would buy 1 of each and mix them together. So we'll put 2.5 teaspoons of the ginger and garlic, and I'm battering my feet. I've already turned my little fry pan on, so I've got to make sure the oil doesn't start burning. So we'll give that a bit of a mix, and now we need to spice it up a bit, don't we? So I'm going to add that there, grab the tablespoon, and what I've already done is blended the green chili. So we're going to put in 2 tablespoonfuls of nice hot, well, medium hot green chilies, but it won't be as hot as you think. And anyway, you can always just add 1 tablespoon of green chilies. Oh, now my favorite, salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should say no more, but you need a bit of salt with the curry. That's why you don't have it every day, for me anyway. And last but not least, I think, yes, we have our spinach mixed with broccoli. So this is just like a super green vegetable. It's just brilliant, and it's very tasty. I find if you just have spinach on its own, it can be a little bitter. So I usually like to buy super greens from the supermarket, and I mix that up. So basically about 2 cups here. So we'll put the 2 cups in. Voila. And we're going to give that a bit of a mix. And then last but not least, I've got up to about 2 cups of water. We may not need them all, the whole lot, but let's see. I'm not going to use the whole lot. I'm going to try and just mix it up to a nice smooth mixture, texture. We don't want it too watery now, do we? We need to give it a bit of a mix because I want to mix up that flour and I want to mix up the baking powder. You know, today it's a beautiful day. It's blue sky and I took a photo, and maybe I'll just post it up here as well so you can have a look what I see outside my window from my kitchen. It's not looking too bad. There we go. See, it doesn't take long to make, does it? And I'm telling you, you're going to find this. This is a nice little quick snack. Or I suppose you could have it with some other, you know, complements to go with it. Some cucumber, or cucumber and yogurt or something, or some sort of condiments, Indian, that can go with this if you like to have a nice light evening snack. So basically, I've now done my mixture and it's looking pretty good. So we're going to turn this up a little bit, and then we're going to start frying them. So I'm gonna when you fry them and you see the air, the air bubbles coming up, it's time to turn them over. So we'll turn them over and do the other side. And then I've got some paper towels, so each one we're going to put on the paper towels, then put the next lot of paper towel, next sheet down, put the next lot on, because we want to drain off as much of the oil as possible. And then we pop them in the oven, and well, best to serve them fresh, isn't it? But anyway, it's only lunchtime here, so I'm not going to eat them till I'm going to serve them up this evening for dinner. That's getting a bit warm now, so I'm going to put, I've got quite a big spoon here, so I'm making them quite big. There we go. And while that is cooking, I'm going to tell you a story or two, so stick around. My favourite subject, flying. Well, it's been 1 week, and guess what happened a week ago? Flying from KL to Sabah, the 737-800, the infamous 737-800, but it wasn't the MAX. It wasn't the MAX plane. But as I said a few weeks ago in China, the same thing happened. Well, this plane reaches altitude of 30,000 feet. They've been flying for 30 minutes. Everyone, the bing had gone to take your seatbelts off. And as I told you, I never take my seatbelt off because this is what can happen. Well, suddenly, for no reason, the plane plummets again. Another 737-800. This was supposed to be the safest. 737s were supposed to be the Boeing's safest plane over a period of history of time. But things seem to have changed. It's 8 years old, this plane, so it's been around a while. But suddenly, for no reason, it plunges. It plunges. 7,000 feet. 7,000 feet in a few seconds, and it just keeps plunging for 10 minutes. They correct it, they fight with the plane, with the controls, and let's get in the, I'm just turning this down a little bit. So all the passengers on the plane, well, not all of them, but I wasn't there, so I don't know, but people were screaming. It said, they interviewed some people were crying, people thought they were going to die. It's a fallacy, isn't it? They say, it's safer to fly in a plane than it is to drive in a car. Well, really? You tell that to the passengers as the plane's plummeting down to earth, terra firma, at a great knot of speeds, because there's only one outcome there, isn't it? There's There's no big bags that pop out of the front dashboard to protect you when you smash into the pavement. No, and break up the little tiny pieces and they have to put you together again like a jigsaw puzzle. No, in a car, there's a good chance you might survive. And I was thinking about that plane. I'm starting to go on now, but you know, probably there was only one person on that plane in a situation like that wouldn't be too concerned. Is it the pilot? No. Is it the air hostesses because they've had plenty of training? Well, possibly, but there's one other person. I'll have a look around. It's me. You know why? Because I've been through this scenario hundreds of times. Every time I fly, my head's going through every single scenario that I've seen on YouTube. I've seen where the planes had, you know, when the plane's going down the runway, I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? The tire's going to burst. We're going to skid out of control off the runway and burst into a bloody, I'm getting excited, burst into flames and a ball of flames. I've seen it happen, but that doesn't happen. And we start taking off and I'm thinking, the petrol, the engines are going to stop. There's going to be no fuel and we're going to straight back down to earth, and that doesn't happen. But see, I've gone through the whole thing. I go through it all every time. My seatbelt's fastened tight, but it's not going to help me much, is it? And then we get up there and finally go, bing, you can take your little seatbelt off now. You'll be quite safe, honey. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It wasn't in this case with that 737-800. It said that people were floating in the air. My gosh, they're not even in a space shuttle, are they? They're just going straight down and they're just floating in gravity. And some of them their heads are hitting the ceiling. So people can get killed. They can get very badly injured in these situations. I mustn't forget to keep my eye on the fritters. I might just burn them. Okay. I'm waiting for the air bubbles to come up. So I've been through every single scenario, and when like you reach altitude, I'm looking at the engine thinking, my gosh, is it going to flame out? Because engines flame out sometimes. What are they going to do then? And that doesn't happen. But then be careful, keep your seatbelt on, because if you're sitting by the window, there's a chance the window could pop out like that woman in that American Airlines, I think. Well, the window popped out and she gets sucked out the window and they grab hold of her legs and they're holding onto her legs and her body's hitting the fuselage. They managed to get her back in, but sadly she passed away. And the other thing is, be careful sitting by the door, because I always think about this, is the door's shut properly. If the door's not and you're sitting by the door, as happened to that another gentleman, I think it was an American plane. Hold on. We don't want to burn our fritters. Oh, I haven't even told you my story yet. The door flew open. Well, it didn't matter whether you had your seatbelt on or not. He got sucked out with the seat and had a close encounter with the turbines. Anyway, that's enough stories. I could go on and on and on about the stories that can happen to us when we fly, because, you know, it's safer than driving a car. Well, let me tell you my story, another one. I thought I was going to get shot. Why? Because it was during the time, remember the shoelace bomber? They found him on the plane and he had a bomb in a shoebox. Shoelace bomber. It wasn't a shoelace, it was a box. It was a shoebox. They call him the shoebox bomber. And anyway, he was going to blow up the plane. He was sitting on his lap. So how are we going here? Not too bad. They're looking quite good. So it was about that era. And anyway, so it was a Malaysian Airlines, and it's my fault because I booked the seats for the two of us, my friend Jeff and myself. Well, the seats I booked were pretty bad, weren't they? Because here's a problem. We're sitting by the toilet, and it was very hot in Malaysia, and the plane had been sitting there for a long time, and something wrong with the air conditioning wasn't working, and the fragrance from the toilet was coming out the door and coming into my poor little nostrils. Well, I'm telling you, I don't really cope too well with that sort of situation. And I'm starting to think I'm going to start vomiting very soon. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm hoping this isn't going to happen. And I'm starting to feel like, oh no, here we go. And I'm going to start dry reaching. So what am I going to do? My mind was racing. It was racing. And anyway, I did the only thing that I thought I could do. The plane was just about to taxi down the runway. And so I got out of my seat and I'm starting to dry reach really loud. And I'm tearing down the plane towards the blooming air hostesses, and they're looking with horror on their face. And I'm thinking, there's air marshal. If there's an air marshal on this plane, I'm going to get shot. They're going to think I'm a terrorist. So I'm tearing down the plane, getting away from that thing, that horrible smell, and I'm running towards first class. And I reached him, and the woman says, the air hostess, they gather around me and say, "Are you all right? Are you all right? Is it the medication? Is it the medication?" And they're about to stop the plane and call an ambulance. I said, "Oh, no. Oh, I'll be right. I'm just having a bit of a panic attack." So I sat there for a while. It's cooking very nicely here. I sat there for a little while and we took off, and the smell had gone, and I walked very embarrassingly back to my seat, and you could imagine all the eyes that were looking at me. Not a great experience at all. Don't fly with me, will you? So that's it. So back to our fritters. And I haven't burnt them. See, they're looking quite good. We're going to put those, pop them in the oven soon. Well, I'm not going to pop them in the oven just yet because I want to put the other ones on top. So that's looking pretty good. If I had a little drone, I could fly it around, a little tiny drone. I could fly it over here and we could come down and we could have a good look at the fritters. But I don't have a little drone, and I need somebody to fly it anyway. But there we go. Look at that. Does it get any better? No. So, Kiwi Steve's Global Kitchen. Please subscribe for some more entertaining recipes and maybe another entertaining story. So we have another edition of Terror in the Skies on the next issue. So I hope you'll come and join me for that. And I will carry on cooking here and enjoying the day. So I wish you a pleasant day. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you again. So bye-bye from Kiwi Steve's Global Kitchen. Bye.